The fourth characteristic used to describe an enjoyable life is feeling full of energy these days. So when I think about everything in health score, all 31 recommendations at this point, everything actually contributes to high energy. When I think about energy, I think about emotional health and physical health. And when you look at health score, every recommendation has been shown to reduce mortality, which means it's been shown to reduce chronic disease. And chronic disease detracts from a person's energy levels. So freedom from chronic disease equates with more energy. That means any recommendation in health score is relevant for improving your energy. I've selected 6 here that I find personally the most powerful for energy, but you might consider others for you. So the first is sleep. Sleeping 7 hours a night that's a no-brainer for having improved energy. And for all of the recommendations, I've created links to the courses that I teach on these topics. Physical activity is a second clear factor for increasing energy levels, which is counterintuitive to think that expending energy actually creates more energy, but it does, and it also boosts mood. Sitting less is personally I find to be very helpful in my work. Standing makes me more alert and better able to focus, concentrate, and less likely to experience fatigue. Sugar. So when we consume sugar, our blood sugar levels spike, insulin is released, and then insulin causes the blood sugar to be absorbed into cells. And this will lead to a rapid drop in blood sugar when we consume foods with added sugar, because the insulin response overshoots its objective, which leads to a carb coma, or that fatigue we feel after a high refined carb or sugary meal. So keeping clear of sugar is a great way of maintaining good energy stores throughout the day. And a correlate of this is limiting refined grains. So anytime a grain has had the bran and the germ removed, this is the fiber that slows digestion and slows the breakdown of the carbohydrate into simple sugars. When we refine grains, we remove the brakes that slow digestion. That means that the bread or refined grain or pasta, whatever it is that we're eating, hits our bloodstream rapidly, just like sugar. And that leads to a spike in blood sugar and a subsequent drop below baseline levels. So just as it's important to reduce sugar and sugar-sweetened beverages, reducing refined grains is also key. And finally, I have a recommendation to drink coffee or green tea. Now, coffee and green tea benefits lifespan, so it's independent of its caffeine. I recommend coffee and green tea, and if you don't like caffeine, I still recommend coffee and green tea in decaf form. But I find that, it's not that I find, it's pretty obvious and it's well established that coffee is a psychostimulant and helps us with alertness and attention. The only risk here is when coffee or caffeine consumption occurs later in the day and affects our sleep, or when we use caffeine instead of sleep to be alert. So pay attention to that. These are 6 of my key recommendations for improving your energy, but as I said before, anything you do to optimize your health is going to give you more energy and enjoyment in life.